Welcome to the follow-up visitor management training video. We will continue our ProVisit journey. In this section, we will look at editing and creating locations, kiosks, branding, flows, agreements, storyboards and questionnaires. Our ProVisit implementation team will have already populated all this information on a customer's behalf during setup. However, this training session will go through these features and provide an understanding of their functions. We'll begin here, logged into the ProVisit system, at the dashboard. Let's look at locations. To do this, go to Settings on the left-hand side. Then scroll to Locations. In this example, we can see that two separate locations have been created. Each location will operate independently. To add another location, please speak with the customer care team first, who can provide options. Adding locations impacts how the system works and requires some planning. If you would like to make any changes to existing locations, click View on the desired location. Here we can see all the general information. This includes the company address details. It's worth highlighting that a What 3 Words reference and a Google Map link can be added here. This is a great feature which will be included on an invitation to a pre-booked visitor. Here is an example of the type of invitation a visitor will receive once pre-booked. As you can see, the What 3 Words and Google Maps link are contained on it, along with the address and postcode. The invitation also contains a QR link to enable sign-in via the kiosk. Please refer to a separate video which specifically covers pre-booking. Going back to our location screen, we can see an area where a fire report email address can be entered. Any fire reports will be sent to this email. A group email address can be inputted here. Multiple email addresses can also be entered by adding a semicolon between emails. The toggle at the bottom provides the option to view only today's visits on the dashboard. Save any changes. Let's now move on to the Kiosk tab. This shows all the current kiosks currently set to this location. Further kiosks can be added by creating a name and zone. Each of these kiosks will be under the umbrella of one location and will operate together. Please view the how-to video on connecting a kiosk to ProVisit if any additional iPads are added to the system. Viewing a selected kiosk brings up a further menu. There are options to make changes here. For example, changing the kiosk name, enabling the camera, enabling the fire report button, etc. You can also set the sign-out method for visitors to initials or surname, along with text display times on screen. Update kiosk to save any changes. If we view the kiosk again, we can go on to the branding section. This is the branding that has been added to your kiosk by the implementation team. It contains colors, logos, alignment, and background images. The colors can be amended by selecting them and dragging the mouse to the desired color. You can also add RGB references for specific colors. New logos and background images can be uploaded here by selecting the appropriate file. The background image can also be a short video. Please contact our customer care team if you need any assistance. Moving on to the next tab. Visitor types. This shows all the types of visitors currently set up on the kiosk. You will notice that each visitor type needs 3 options. The options are for new, returning, and expected. Each one of these options can view a different set of screens. If each visitor type is to view the same set of screens, then the same flow can be selected for all. For example, employees all see the same flow, whether they are new, returning, or expected. Visitor types can also be deleted from the kiosk here. The next tab is for language. Here you can set any help text, along with the sign-out text, that the visitor will see. Default languages can be selected here. Please refer to the video, Connecting the Kiosk to ProVisit, which discusses the Device tab. Once all changes have been made, click Update Kiosk. For these changes to take effect, go to your ProVisit kiosk and click the Powered by ProVisit button at the bottom of the screen. Enter the kiosk PIN, which is 4 zeros by default. Now press the Refresh Kiosk button. Any changes are now refreshed once the settings have loaded. Click to get started. The kiosk will have updated with the amendments that have been made. Going back to our location, we can explore the Types section. This shows all the visitor types that have been created and are available at this location. There is the option to configure specific settings for each type. These configurations are covered in the Entry Requirements training video. If you need to add more visitor types, you can do this under Settings, on the left-hand side. Then, Visitor Types. Add additional types by creating a type name, then saving. Viewing a particular type brings up a sub-menu. This menu is covered later in the training program. Returning to our location, let's look at the Agreements tab. Here are all the existing agreements which have been generated. These agreements can include company terms and conditions or anything else that requires visitor confirmation. These agreements can be added to the kiosk screen flows, which we will cover in a few moments. To generate a new agreement, simply press the Create button. Now we will review an agreement that has already been generated. Terms and Conditions. Ensure the agreement has been selected for a visitor. The agreement must be given a name and title. In the context box, the company terms and conditions have been added. By ticking the Require Confirmation box, we will be asking the visitor viewing this agreement to confirm acceptance. Press Update Agreement to save. Remember what we have just looked at, as we will be ensuring that the agreement is added to the visitor flows shortly. Next, we can look at questionnaires. In this section we can generate questionnaires that we would like visitors to answer when signing in on the kiosk. New questionnaires can be added by giving it a title, then save. For this training video, we will look at a questionnaire that has already been generated. The Health Screening Questionnaire. Again, a name and title must be given and the questionnaire type is for a visit, because we want to add it to the kiosk. A new question can be added here. We can see a list of questions which have already been inputted. We'll look at this one. Have you had a high temperature in the last 24 hours? If we view the question, there is the option to make this mandatory. This means that the visitor must answer before signing in. There are two options for the type of question. The first option is a simple yes or no. We can set the system to place a visitor on hold if an incorrect answer is given. This is done by selecting yes in this drop-down. Now we can tell the system what the correct answer should be. Alternatively, the question can be set as a single-choice answer. As we can see in this demonstration, now, additional options can be added, like this. Doing this gives the visitor a multiple-choice question. Again, we can make this mandatory and place the visitor on hold if an incorrect answer is given. Here we can tell the system what the correct answer should be. Once the questionnaire is complete, update to save. Moving on, we'll go to the Storyboards tab. In this section, we have the option to add various storyboards to the kiosk screens. These storyboards can be images, text, or even videos. New storyboards can be added by clicking the Create button. We have the option to decide which type of storyboard we are creating, here. The language can be set to. The storyboard must be given a name and a title. If the storyboard is text, then this can be entered in the context box. For images and videos, choose the file you want to upload, and add this here. Once you are happy, Storyboard. We can look at an example of a storyboard which has already been created by the implementation team. A sitemap. If we view, we can see that this is an image. Clicking the image provides a preview of what has been uploaded. Files can be replaced, or the entire storyboard can be deleted here. How do these elements, the agreements, the questionnaires, and the storyboards work together? Going to the Flows section will show us. In this area, various flows will have been set up by the implementation team, as we can see here. These flows are based on the customer requirements and include agreements, questionnaires, and storyboards. Various different flows have been created for each type of visitor. Flows have also been generated for these types if they are 1. New, 2. Returning, and 3. Expected. Each of these types and options can be set with different screens, if required. For training purposes, let's view the new visitor flow and review the general settings. The flow has been given a title. How the visitor searches their name on the kiosk is contained under the Finder method. Initials or surname can be selected. Turning the Print Passes toggle on enables the label printer to print the visitor pass upon sign-in. The Create Profiles toggle requires some thought. If this is switched on, then new visitors can create their own profile when signing in via the kiosk. Some companies would prefer new visitors not to be able to do this. Depending on the company policy, new visitors can simply be placed on hold and the host notified. To stop new visitors creating their own profile via the kiosk, toggle this button off. The Profile Finder button is almost always switched on to enable visitors to search for their own names on the kiosk. There is the option to lock to one location. Here, we have the text that the visitor will see upon sign-in, and the text they will see when, or if, being placed on hold. The label printer can be renamed here. Now we have arrived at the segment section. This is a list of the various screens and information requests a visitor will see when signing in. Many of the options are built into the system and can simply be selected from this area. For example, name request, whether to take a photo, requesting emails, etc. Click on any of these to add them to the flows. Any segments that need removing can be done via the Delete button. If we go to Segment Types, looking at the drop-down, we can see other options to choose from. These can be added to our flows. For example, by selecting Storyboards, we can choose to add any of the boards that have already been created. Here is the site map that we looked at a few minutes ago as an option. The Agreement drop-down again provides a list of agreements that have been generated. The Terms and Conditions agreement that we reviewed earlier is showing as an option for us to select. The Field section is for any additional fields of information we would like to capture that is not already contained in the system as standard. A useful how-to video is available to show you how to create a new field. This is basically done under Settings and Fields. In our example, an additional field has already been created to capture a vehicle registration. This request can be added to the flows by selecting it. Finally, we have the Questionnaire drop-down. This contains a list of questionnaires that have already been generated on the system. Here we can see the health questionnaire that we previewed a few minutes ago. We can choose any of these questionnaires to add to the flow. Once all the segments are complete, we can shuffle the order if required by dragging and dropping using the mouse. There is the option to make any of the segments mandatory so they can't be skipped. There is also the choice for a visitor to search their host by initials or by surname. If you are happy that this flow contains all the segments or screens that you require, click Save Changes. The Visitor New flow has been updated. If we now view Visitor Returning, we can see the difference in the segment selected. Because the visitor will have been to site before and is returning, the number of screens for them to view has been reduced. For example, the site map has been removed from the flow. Having a different set of screens for each visitor type, and if they are new or returning, provides lots of flexibility. To summarize, in this section, we have discussed editing and creating locations. We have explored the kiosks, including branding, agreements, storyboards, questionnaires, and flows. The next visitor management training video will look at creating companies, profiles, invitations, roles, and users. Your Pro Visit journey continues. Thank you for watching.